All right, everything should be good this time. This is my fourth take because I didn't like the way I was boxed up in here. Anyhow, here we go. Lifeflow version 1.1. I'm basically going to just read what is in my blog post below, but before I read it, I'll read it and then I'll go off script a little bit. But before I read it, I just want to say that like life flow, this thing I'm calling life flow, is just a fundamental part of the human experience. What I mean by that is every single human on the planet has a life flow, whether they've designed it or not. You know what I mean? Everybody has habits and routines that they do, regardless of whether they've you know, consciously created them, right? Maybe you wake up at a certain time, maybe you use an alarm, maybe you don't use an alarm. Maybe you eat breakfast right away, maybe you eat breakfast later. Maybe you get up and play video games, maybe you get up and exercise, maybe whatever it is, everybody has a flow they do, a flow they have at work, a flow they have when they get back from work. It's natural. That's what we do. That's how we function. So with that out of the way, I'm just gonna read. Straight from this. So when I'm saying my life flow, this is basically the obviously every day is different in life, but it's like some of the structural things I do to make progress, keep my health good, enjoy things, etc. So that's life flow. Just being cognizant of your, I'll just read this. So life flow is to life as workflow is to work. Your life flow is simply the daily processes, protocols, systems, habits, routines, and rituals you use each day. Ideally, they're designed to create a balance between making progress on your dream. I need to update my dream, but just a little bit about your dream. Dream, you just look at that as a goal. So you could have a dream for the week, a dream for the month, a dream for the year, a 50-year dream. I made that crazy video, a 3,884-year dream, whatever it is. So your life flow is designed, ideally they are designed to create a balance between making progress on your dream, on your goals, maintaining a healthy mind and body, and enjoying the journey. I used to say the process. I had process, but enjoying the journey, right? You wanna attain your goals, but ideally, you're enjoying that process of attaining your goals, right? And when I say enjoying the journey, I don't necessarily mean like the hedonic treadmill they say of just like playing video games all day or whatever, which I do sometimes, but here, like I said, I was just going to read this. I'll continue to go off topic, I'm sure. So, the life flow is designed to make progress to your dreams, maintain your healthy mind, healthy body, and enjoy the journey. And then I have a little side here, something that should be kept in mind when designing and implementing one's life flow is the balance between short-term happiness, short-term, like whatever it is, eating sweets, playing video games, whatever, going to the club, going to the titty bar, whatever. A balance between short-term happiness, when designing, make sure there's a balance between short-term happiness and sacrificing short-term happiness for progress towards one's long-term goals. So sometimes like sacrificing happiness in the moment or day to day, it is important or necessary for creating long-term progress. So let me just read it. Sacrificing short-term happiness for long-term progress is sometimes necessary for life satisfaction. So life satisfaction is this other measure, like what you could, like a good example of that. There's many examples, but let's say you want to be a doctor. Everything I know about being a doctor, it sounds pretty terrible. A lot of schooling, then you're like, then you like got to do your residency or whatever. You're not sleeping, you're getting slammed with stuff, whatever. it's not like exponentially, it sounds pretty terrible, but you're sacrificing that short-term happiness and short-term having fun for these long-term goals. And then that creates, even though you might not be happy day in and day out, you might have a high level of life satisfaction because you feel like you're accomplishing things and everything. So, there's a balance between all these different things. And then I took a little excerpt from an article. The key here is memory. Satisfaction is retrospective. Happiness occurs in real time, right? So satisfaction is connected to memories and your story. And Kahneman, I think his name's Daniel Kahneman's work, he found that people tell themselves a story about their lives which may or may not add up to a pleasing tale. Yet our day-to-day experiences yield positive feelings that may not advance that longer story necessarily. Memory is enduring, feelings pass. So basically what I just said about, you don't purely want to live for the moment, right? Like eating chocolate is fun in the moment. Any number of things is great in the moment, but then it might not positively add to your story, so how you feel about yourself retroactively, and it might not help towards your progress, but you want to balance that, man. Eating chocolate ain't bad. Titty bars ain't bad. Balance. So here's my my personal life flow that I have laid out here in version 1.1. I had a version 1.0. A little bit about the versionings. Like I started a version of this last year, which was pretty good. I never published it. So this is version 1.1. But if we go back in time further, like I haven't made these things public yet, but Owning Life, I had versions of this and whatever. So right now, my morning routine is as follows. And if I have the free time to do this, ideally I do, make the bed easy, weigh myself and record it, brush my teeth, drink water. Water made an appearance last time there. drink, slam that water. Take vitamins. I'm taking vitamin B complex and fish oil. If there's something else I should add, let me know. Meditate. I use the app Insight Timer. Usually it's between 5 and 25 minutes. I journal. Bada boom, bada bing. Here's the journal. I complete my morning chores, and my morning chores are very simple. Put away dry dishes, wash any dishes if there's something left over from last night, hang up laundry, throw it in the dryer, and clean the litter box Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And then I exercise. I guess I'm going to start, this is how I was doing it when I was running, so I'm going to start doing, I was exercising kind of late in the afternoon, but ideally I exercise right after all this because then it's just done for the day. So Monday to Friday, right now I'm bike riding because the pools are closed. I was swimming, but the pools are closed, so now I'm riding a bike. And then, Taiwan's going through their COVID thing, so if things get locked down further, I'll switch to some kind of, YouTube video workout. And then stretch. I do this Chinesey stretching thing called the Yi Jin Jing. So there, boom, that's the morning. Afternoon. I set aside some time to work on my dream, my projects, whatever. I should work too, but I'm not working like that now. I've been doing that courier job. So I set aside time to work on whatever my current dream is, and what I'll be working on is all this flow to your dream stuff. So set aside a little time for that. Clear my Todoist app. There's the app you can use for checking off, putting tasks in and whatever. And then the early evening, that's all time set aside for social activities with wife, friends, or myself. I love spending time with myself. That's my favorite. So that could be video games, YouTube, music, writing, reading, calligraphy, whatever. So then late evening, it's late evening for me now, so I'll be doing this right after I upload this video. Shut off electronics, meditate, journal again. I don't always do the evening thing, but I'm trying to do it like, because it feels good meditating and journaling again at night. Take meds, go to sleep. And right now I actually, like I have my phone in bed and I watch YouTube videos before I sleep, but you know, we'll see. Maybe I'll make that adjustment. And then I have some anytime daily tasks. I just have 2 of those. One is read 1 page of a book minimum and study 1 Chinese character. I have the bar set really low so I can knock it out very quickly. But, you know, like when I do it and I have more time, obviously, I study more characters. I read more pages. And that list will probably grow in time. And this will all like kind of change in time. So intermittent fasting is a part of my flow. I don't need to read what I have there. I basically think I talked about this already in my dream, that long video, but I do a 16-8 minimum. So I fast for 16 hours, eating window for 8, but I prefer going longer. I like 20 hours. I like 24. That feels nice. And then I plan on doing a 108-hour fast at some point within this cycle. I use the app Zero Fasting. All the links and stuff to the apps are in the blog post if you want that. And then here, I'll just go over this whole thing. You could have just watched it a little bit in the video and then like gone here and read it, but I'm just going through it. Apps and tools I use. There's an app called Sleep as Android. That's what I use to monitor my sleep. So that's last thing I use at night, first thing I use in the morning, turn it on and off. There's an awesome book called Why We Sleep that I highly recommend reading. And if you don't want to read it, you just want to take my recommendation, sleep as much as you can. 9 hours, 10 hours, unless you're like, if you're depressed and you're sleeping like 12 hours a day, don't do that. But what I'm saying is if you're able, and a lot of people just aren't able because life is not designed for humans being healthy. If you're able, sleeping for 9 hours, 10 hours is great. Even more is great, assuming you're not depressed and that's just what your body wants. Because it's just, there's no, like sleep is even more important than exercise. Like if you read the book, like it goes into all the stuff, but like sleep is really important. So anyway, sleep it up. I like to have at least a 9-hour window for me to sleep. There's an app I use. I haven't been using it much lately because I don't need to, because my habits are good, but every now and then I'll pull it out. An app called Off Time. What Off Time does is it just blocks apps, right? So one thing you do is just put your phone away. That's the easy version of Off Time. But like I use my phone for other stuff. Like I do the meditation thing on it. I use Canva, whatever. So if I'm having trouble like surfing social media, which I really don't anymore, you can use Off Time to block all that stuff. The Habit app I use, which is fantastic. It's Android only. Off Time they have for Apple. It's called Loop Habit Tracker. And it's like next level free. Like it's open source, so it's free that way. But if you go to the website, the dude won't take donations. He's like, oh, if you like it, tell people about it, or help me with the code. And it's probably the best. Maybe there's a better habit app out there, but like this one does exactly what I want to do. So what I do, and you can see a photo of it on my blog, is I make another, like I swipe away from my home screen. You can use widgets, like I can do a real bogus. Can you see the image there? There you go. You can make widgets for each of your habits, and then you can just when you get it done, you can tick it off. And I basically have them lined up in the order that I do them in every day. I think I mentioned Insight Timer already. That's the app I use for meditation. Also, awesome free app. It has a premium version, but it was free for a very long time. And when they started adding the premium features, they never took away what was originally available on the free version. Oh, I guess I moved the camera. It's just been there the whole. Boom! Look at that. Now it's gone. Oh, you can see the whole. You can see I'm running Linux Mint on a 9 or 10-year-old desktop. Anyway, Insight Timer is great. I just actually just use it for the timer, but it has meditation music. It has guided meditations. There's teachers you can follow, and like a lot of the stuff you can do for free. Like the premium gives you like you can download stuff for offline, and there's some other stuff. But it's an awesome app for meditation. Then I just have listed here the I don't even know how to pronounce this. Lecturum 1917 medium lined notebook. This is a notebook I prefer for doing my my morning journaling, and this is the pen I like. It's the Pilot Juice Up, and I use the 4mm width or whatever. But I'll just point out some of the things I really like about this Lecturium, whatever you pronounce it, journal, is one, it has a table of contents area, which at first I thought was silly, but it's like what I end up doing is when I have some free time, I usually wait until I'm done with the journal. I'll go back and I'll read all my entries, and I'll like make notes in the table of content where the important stuff is. So I really like that. A lot of journals have this, has this little pocket back here. The last like 10 pages, I've ripped out some pages that are perforated, so you can rip it out and give a note to a friend. Paper quality is great. It's got stickers, so you can like label this and label this. It's got two of these joints. It's got this, which the cats keep eating off of my other ones. Like, see? Oh wait, it survived. This one survived. So many of them have not survived. Anyway, that's the journal I use. That's the pen I use. YouTube Premium, so I don't get YouTube ads, and then that's what I use for music. Google Podcasts for podcasts. I use Audible for books. Actually, I should cancel it for now because I have a bunch of credits I haven't used yet. But something I really like doing, and I've only done it a handful of times, I just did it for a book I bought today, is it's really interesting. If you get the audio version of a book and the Kindle version, and you sit there and you're reading it and hearing it, it's a really interesting experience because you're like totally, like your mind can't wander. Like, you know, if you're listening to an audiobook, a lot of times maybe you're running or doing cooking or something. If you're reading a book, you know, a lot of times your mind just wanders and you're like, what did I just read? But like putting a Kindle and Audible together, it's interesting. I use the health stuff. I use Samsung Health. Basically, that's where I track my cycling, my swimming. I also have a watch, so I can I track my water. I track my weight. I think those are the three things I track with Samsung Health. I mentioned Todoist already. That's what I use for tasks management. You can put dates on it. You can put repeating tasks, all that kind of stuff. I use 2 mood apps, and actually Insight Timer just added a mood feature in it, so I use that one too. But one of the mood apps I use is called eMoods. It's really good for, here, I'll just read this. eMoods is a user-friendly app for patients to track symptom data related to bipolar 1 and 2 disorders, depression, PTSD, and anxiety disorders. So what's nice is that it, here, I'll tell you, like it gives you some dimensions to rate yourself on. So one is elevated mood, depression, anxiety, irritability. So on those 4 scales, you can say it was high or it didn't exist. And by tracking my mood that way, it'll help me like see manic tendencies coming. And then and you can also track your medication. You can make custom things to track. You can put your sleep in there. You can journal. I just use it for the levels. And then another mood app called Mood Meter, which is like, it's based on some Yale science thing where it has 4 quadrants, high and low energy, and then I'm doing it backwards. Here, high and low energy, and then high and low pleasantness. So there's 4 quadrants, and you can kind of just like, it has like 100 different emotional words that you can use to kind of like track how you're feeling, and that like, it's just kind of like, that one's kind of nice. It's not so, specific to like mental health, things like, but it's like a cool thing. Like, you can leave notes about what you're doing and where your mood's at. You can put it, multiple times a day. Canva, I think that's the last thing I have listed here. Canva is what I'll use. We'll do the bootleg, showing you on my laptop dilly again. See, that's the update I make every day. That one's day 12, does it say? Day 13. So I make these little updates where I have on there the amount of time I meditated, how long my fast was, how much exercise I did, what my weight is, how many glasses of water I drank, and whether I read, journaled, studied Chinese, and did the I Ching Ching on the stretches. And that's it. That's my Lifeflow version 1.1. And what I want to do with this document over time is, one, if you as a viewer or a reader or a friend or whatever is like, oh, you should add to that is this. Like I said, I'm taking a couple vitamins in the morning. Like, oh, you should do that. Or, you should really, like, I don't have calligraphy on here, but like, oh man, you should definitely set aside 5 minutes a day to do calligraphy. Or like, oh man, you should pick up the instrument. Or, you know what I might actually get? I would really like a beat machine and make my own beats and freestyle. Even if the freestyles suck, I like doing it. But the point being is that I want to create this document so, one, I get feedback on it, and then on the flip side, it might inspire the creation of your own document. Like, you could take mine as a template, plug in your own stuff, or whatever. This is version 1, it will evolve, I look forward to the future when this is all in the Flow to Your Dream app. That's it. There we go. The Lifeflow version 1.1. Questions, comments, I'm easy to get a hold of. Don't email me right now, though, because my email is trash. You can leave a comment on YouTube, or I don't know, or send me a message on Facebook. But it seems like when you send messages on Facebook, it goes to that weird inbox. But I think I have my, whatever. I'm easy to get a hold of. You look there, leave a comment somewhere. Peace. Love you guys.